All right, guys, we've got Darlington this week. This is the Goodyear 400. Darlington is known as the track too tough to tame. It is not for the faint of heart. This is a track where experience really lends itself, and we'll be looking for more experienced drivers who have been really good here at Darlington. We're not looking for the younger drivers and not so much the teams this week. I'm not looking at the cars. I'm not worried about the equipment. It's really more about the drivers here when I look at Darlington. So at Darlington, you've got to run up near the wall, and you've got to know how to maintain your tires. Tire wear is of the utmost importance here in Darlington. So I went back, I'm looking at the history of who runs really well at this particular track. And I also would kind of throw, I know it's a 1.4 mile track. I'm not looking at other intermediary tracks here. It doesn't necessarily correlate to this particular track. So I just want guys who've been really good at this track. Of course, the favorite is Kyle Larson. He's been just about as good as anybody here at this track. Although we had 3 races here last year, he was suspended and missed all 3 of those races. So we don't have any data on Larson from last year. He has not won, but his last 2 trips in 2018, 2019 were a 3rd place and a 2nd place finish. So he has done well. He's probably maybe at this point, he might be the most skilled driver out there right now. We had him last week, of course. Really unfortunate. He dominates the entire race, does not win. So Larson will be the favorite this week. We're going to pass on him. You know, we don't usually like taking the favorites in these NASCAR events just because things like what happened to Larson last week happen quite frequently. There's a lot of luck involved in winning a NASCAR race, not just being the best skilled or having the best car. The other guy who's had tremendous success here is Kevin Harvick, who has not necessarily had a great 2021 season. It seemed like last year, every week, it was Harvick, Hamlin up near the top. This year, it really hasn't been that case for the Harvick team. But I think, again, I'm looking for drivers and not necessarily the car. He's not had a great car this year. They've had issues. I think if they can put him in a decent enough car here, he doesn't have issues with the car. I think Harvick's a guy that's going to contend this week. He's had a lot of success here. He won at this track 2 times in the 3 races that they had at Darlington last year. His worst finish in the last 10 races here has been 9th. Otherwise, he's been in the top 5 every single time. So expect Harvick to look pretty good. We're not getting the greatest of prices on Harvick, but I expect Harvick to be a contender here. He's going to be one of my plays, and I'll go over exactly what the lines are right now on each one of those plays at the end of the video and exactly how I'm taking it, how I'm betting it. And we'll get into actually some matchups that I might like in the Discord channel. I won't do it on the video here. If you come over to the Discord for the Sports Bet Army, the link will be down below. It's a free Discord in NASCAR, and we'll just talk about some of the prop bets out there, maybe some of the matchup bets that look intriguing this week. All right, another guy who has had some up and downs here at the Darlington track is Joey Logano. He's either been really bad or really good. So since 2015, he's had a 4th, a 5th, a 2nd, a 3rd, a 6th, and then mixed in between there, an 18th, a 14th, an 18th. We're not 100% sure what to expect. I think Logano has just been the most snake-bitten guy of the season. We've been on him quite a few times. He probably should have won 2 races, at least 1 race, and quite possibly could have won 3 races this year. Has not won any. We're going to jump back on the Logano horse and hopefully cash a ticket with Logano. I still like Logano. To me, he's one of the top drivers. I think he'll be able to handle this track. He's obviously had some success. Just hasn't been able to push through for a victory, but I'm quite happy taking Logano here. I'm going to pass on one of the guys who just seems to be up there every single week, but I just don't like the price. He has had plenty of success here in Denny Hamlin. Harvick had the 2 of the 3 wins, and then Hamlin, of course, the other one. He's won here prior to that as well, so he has had some success. Obviously deserves to be that 2nd choice, which he is right now, but we're going to pass just because of the price. Would not be shocked, obviously, if he wins this race, but I'm going to pass on Denny Hamlin. Now, Kyle Busch won last week. We've been on Kyle Busch quite a few times, waiting for that breakout win. Of course, we don't take him last week, and he does break out. There's an old saying in horse racing, if you miss the wedding, don't show up to the funeral. We missed the wedding last week with Kyle Busch. Hopefully we're not showing up to the funeral. We're going to jump on Busch. He's had a lot of success here. Again, I'm always looking for talent and driver ability at Darlington. I don't know if there's anyone better than Kyle Busch. To me, he's one of the top drivers. I think he's just been in equipment that he hasn't really liked. It seems like every week he's complained about something or other going on with the car. Also, the lack of practice for whatever reason seems to have affected Kyle Busch the most, or at least he's the one who seems to be the most vocal about it. And we are still not practicing at these tracks and running qualifiers as we normally do due to COVID. I think that might change here in the next few weeks. We'll see. Kyle Busch, I know he won last week. I know maybe people are going to be a little bit off him, not expecting a back-to-back victory, but his success here, his quality of driving, his skills, I think I'm going to take a shot with Kyle Busch. And then the long shot play, I think a lot of people do like this play just because of the success he's had here, and I can't pass it up myself. We're getting a pretty good price on Erik Jones. I mean, what can you say about Jones? He's been in the top 10 every single time he has raced here. His worst finish was 8th place. He had a victory back in 2019. He's at 2 8ths, 2 5ths, a 4th, and a victory here. So a guy who obviously likes this track. It's going to be hard to pass up on him. He's a long shot, obviously, so we don't really expect him to necessarily win, but he should be up at a minimum in the top 10 and probably challenging for a top 5. A guy you might want to look in some prop bets, certainly some matchups. And again, we'll go over that in the Discord channel. I'll throw a couple of props and matchups in there that I'm looking at. I'm curious to hear what you guys think as well this week. So if we round it out, these are the guys I like. And again, I take these all for a 2-win, 1 unit amount, not a risk 1 unit. So if I'm taking Harvick right now on BetMGM, which some of you guys may have access to, depending on the state that you're in. If you have BetMGM, they're showing the best price right now on Kevin Harvick at plus 750. So that's going to cost you about $13 for the $100 better, 0.13 units to make that bet. Logano's at plus 1,400, and that's going to cost you about $7 to win 100 if you are a $100 per unit better. Kyle Busch is at plus 800. The Logano bet at plus 1,400, by the way, you can pretty much get that everywhere. It looks like just about all the books are at that price. Kyle Busch at 800, same thing. Most books are showing him at plus 800. There's a couple of plus 900s out there, but at lesser books that you probably don't have access to, so I'll throw the plus 800 out there. You're going to have a $12.50, so about $12, $13 bet if you are a $100 better on Kyle Busch, or 0.125 is the unit size. So vary it based on whatever your unit size is. And then Erik Jones at plus 10,000 over in William Hill and PointsBet. If you're getting DraftKings, FanDuel, some of the other books, they're all going to be about plus 8,000. If you can get that plus 10,000, obviously fantastic. You got to put $1 to win 100. I'll take that shot any day of the week with a guy who's had the kind of success Jones has had. I know he's not in the same quality of car that he had been. He was in the Joe Gibbs cars prior when he had won, and he's had a success here. So you do expect a little bit of a drop off there, but again, I'm more concerned with the driver here. I think Jones will have a pretty good finish. So those are the guys I like as far as win bets. Head on over to the Sports Bet Army Discord channel. We'll talk more about some of the props, some of the matchups that I like. And as always, sign up to get notified of when we launch the Sharp app. And I think you guys are going to be really happy with what we've got going on in the Sharp app. And it's going to help you guys with your handicapping. So good luck, enjoy the races, and I'll see you guys over in Discord.